I'm done, Son PK.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Alex. Geoffrey still has something. Okay, come on.
Yeah,
Geoffrey.
I agree with you, Alex.
And then I also welcome N.Island. Okay, Geoffrey.
Okay, kila kitu ambacho umesema is okay. It's very true that the guy lied to people. Vitu kama mambo ya SGI, he lied to people in Mombasa. Akadanganya watu kuwa akiingia atarudisha sijui port Mombasa kutoka from Naivasha alete Mombasa. Nothing happened. So it's very true that people are bitter hapa chini. But now what I was talking about is somebody to guide us. You know, like we in Mombasa, hakuna mtu ambaye anatulead. Kama tuseme watu kama Kinokanga wako na hiyo nini na hiyo mkutano nao kila siku. They talk mpaka hata kwa media wanaonekana. But for us kila kitu iko quiet. Watu wanalia njaa, watu wanalala njaa, kazi hakuna, school fees hiyo watu wanafaa walipe, but there's nothing. So what I was saying is either like Mutembei TV, bora tuifanye iwe almost 24 hours. Kwa sababu kama sasa ndio watu wameamka in Kenya, at least watu wanaweza ingia wakasikia what is happening. Alafu watu wanakuwa prepared. Kwa sababu hii najua itaenda for around saa 3 saa 4 mtakuwa mshafunga tayari. Watu hakuna kitu wanapata. But tukisema tu tusimame hivi, hakuna mtu anatuguide hapa underground. Ni watu tu tunaumia, but hakuna mtu anatuambia twende. Hakuna mtu anatuambia tufanye hivi.
Asante Geoffrey kwa huo ujumbe. Na Gaucho, chairman wa bunge la wananchi Kenya, mahali popote ulipo, Mombasa branch yako haifanyi kazi. We are announcing this, we are calling you from this channel. Gaucho, okay, Bwana Okanga, harakisheni Mombasa, muende muanjishe hiyo engine. Bunge la wananchi liko kila county. So if it's not Mombasa, it's not active, then actually they are trying to revamp every county. It's supposed to be active with the discussions going on almost every day. Nakumbuka Mombasa, bunge la wananchi lilikuwa linakutana pale nani karibu kwa PC. Zamani ilikuwa kunaitwa kwa PC, sasa ni regional. Hapo baada ya nani? Yeah, sijui siku hizi wana meet wapi. But Mombasa should not be lagging behind. Because bunge la wananchi, that is where wananchi have a voice. That is where they are able to talk. That's where they are able to say and express whatever they are feeling. That bunge was going to be strengthened by Azimio because Azimio wanted direct feedback from an alternative source. Because unajua mabunge wengi wanaingiaga, wengine they can be bribed so easily. Yeah? But pale ni mwananchi wa kawaida. And that's why it was going to be strengthened with equipments so that they are able to air their views directly. And we value them. We value Jacaranda, we value ile ingine ya pale Mfangano, kunaitwa nani? Jivanji. Okay? And we value even this other one which is around Maendeleo, not Maendeleo, what do we call it? International House, pale Juma Mangina Street. Yeah, we know all where these bunges are and they are doing great job. Sasa Mombasa, Geoffrey, tumeshika hiyo. Na those of us who have access to Akina Okanga, access to Gaucho, by the end of this program, we are going to talk to him. Na Gaucho listens also, is part of this, so hiyo amepata. Hiyo ingine at 24 hours, it is true. We are going to intensify because what we are doing here, I know somebody was saying inciting and all that. Inciting is a very good thing if you are inciting people for the right thing. It is only bad when you are inciting them for a negative thing. But now telling people you are suffering, hautaweza kulipa fees, uko na njaa, na una njaa kwa sababu mtu ameiba chakula yako. Una njaa kwa sababu mtu ameenda kuleta fertilizer when you need food. Una njaa because wale wote waliiba hela ya Kenya wameambiwa hawajaiba, wametolewa hizo kesi, so they are not going to return the stolen money. They are free to use that money, and the money they have which was stolen from Kenya is now personal. Kwa hivyo hakuna faida itasaidia Mkenya. So if that is incitement, let it be. If telling Kenyans that this government, whether you give it 30 years, 40 years, 100 years, it will never benefit you. Why? Because we have indicators. If a leader doesn't know how to dress, even if you give him 100 years, he will not know how to dress. If you give a hyena 100 years, it will never change into a condor. Never. Simba ni simba, hyena ni hyena, mbuzi ni mbuzi. Okay? So definitely, whether people like it or not, things are going to be that way. And as we said, it's a matter of choice. Tuna njia mbili tu. Okay? Njia mbili. Tuvumilie kuisha ama we stop it. Usipoziba ufa, tutajenga ukuta. Na ukuta utakuwa mgumu sana. Nchi ya Kenya, example is there. 24 years destroyed this country. Tukashindwa na Korea. Now we are begging Korea. Our president, he's not my president. That president of Kenya went to Korea
So
to beg.
you have to withdraw that statement.
Yes, very fast. It was a slip of the tongue, very bad slip of the tongue. He went to Korea to beg. Imagine unaenda kubeg mtu mliingia na yeye standard 1. Alikupita wewe ukifanya ujinga yako ukaanguka mitiani akamaliza akaenda akajijenga, then you go to beg. 24 years retrogressed us so much. Now we have.
And someone respond to this guy called Ruto.
Let's meet. Okay. People have mute. We need some people to mute. Wainaina, just mute before you come in. Yeah. Okay. I want to bring in other people. Sisi tumeongea sana. I know Leah, you are there. Let me bring Wainaina. I saw Wainaina. Do you want to say something? Just go ahead.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I hope maybe I'll speak later. Just proceed. I'll speak later.
Good morning. I thought it was me.
Oh, yeah. You know the problem, you are behind the curtain. That's why I didn't know whether you are ready. Yeah, go ahead and then Wainaina. Wait.
Okay. Okay. I'm sorry. Wait a little bit.
No,
I just because I'm outside. I'm at work. That's why I have to. My phone is in my pocket. That's why.
Go ahead.
Nikieka. Yeah. So I just wanted to. Hata sitakaa sana. I wanted to congratulate PK because jana I said I'm going to sleep. Nimeamka saizi and Sunday Mona show is still going on. I had a chance to listen to, I don't know, it was PK when you talked about you during Moi era, and it's true. Ali, I know Alex said about the problem right now is tribal. The tribal, whereby if a governor has to stand, it has to be only in that. I mean, it has to be the tribe person. For example, governor of Kisii, governor of Kisumu, and governor of Mombasa cannot stand in Kisumu. I'm a governor of Kisii cannot stand in Nairobi. But Nairobi right now, because of Sakaja, at least it's metropolitan, and that's why. So it reminds me like in New York, whereby anybody, even people who came long time ago, migrated to America from Mexico, the Latino. Nowadays, they can also, so long as you have a American passport, they can also vie to be mayor of the city or people, for example, not only Latino, but also from Italy, like Cuomo's. Now, what I wanted to say again is, I won't be long. What I wanted to say is to give a remarks about your Bunge la Wananchi. I used to think Bunge la Wananchi is also in Kisumu. I think they should also create another one in Kisumu. And those guys who are Okanga, they're also doing incredible job. Whereby,
sorry, Nifa, just sorry for interrupting you. Just to inform you, there's Bunge la Wananchi across the country. There's one in Kisumu. I think sometime when I was in Kisumu, I used to attend some. So
It's
been developed.
Okay, that's great. So what we need to do, so I support also PK. PK talk about who your Gaucho. I don't know who Gaucho is, but he should be told we should extend whereby if you guys need some equipment, we should also to let a paka radio. We should also bring radio. And it's not, it will be also part of the income generation whereby those guys wawe at least wanapata, they get also something, you understand? Because the whole day you could imagine wanasimama hapo sisi. Okay, me, I'm not like you guys mlianza a long time. I used to listen to you until I said let me also come, I contribute something. And that's why if you're a Kenyan and you're also staying outside the country, you know, it's not only for those Kenyans who are staying in the country, it's also for all of us, because we also have friends, we have neighbors, and we have Kenyan who are family also. And like I said the other day, when a Kenyan is suffering, no matter how we're outside, and I salute also our brothers who are living in the United States, like Akina, I don't know if it's Alex or Kenyan with love, they're also doing something. So we should also, people who are outside, we should also try to see how we are going to boost you people on the ground. And that's how we're going to be, to keep nini hivyo polepole until we get tutapata hiyo the public view. Hiyo ni kitu ya kwanza. Na kitu ya pili, of course, whoever somebody said huko bunge la Mwananchi na wanasikilizwa na sisi, of course they are listening to us, wanatusikiliza vizuri sana, but to them it's a little bit hard because wakiona they don't know who nani anaongea from where, anatokea wapi. I think there are people in the show from Europe, also from America, and I don't know if we have also Kenyans who are living in Scandinavia. I will try to mobilize, because I remember when they said for the first time diasporans we are going to tunaenda kusimama, but some of us tulikataa because yeah, the people from so Kenyans living in Scandinavia, they're also majority. That's what I'm saying. I will try to get, because tulikuwa wengi, tulikuwa kwa mtandao pia, and we wanted to vote, lakini tulikataa with some of village Ebukati. I don't know what's coming. I don't know. Tukasema hapana. If he has to come, we have to engage with him one-on-one. Hatutakubali ati watu wengine wanatu represent. And then we said some of us are living in the first world country, and living in a first world country, there's no way ati mtu anakuja ati anaenda Ujerumani peke yake and then sisi sote tunafuata, tutakubali. And then we said sisi pia we are paying taxes, and if you are paying taxes, hiyo pesa yenye inaletwa huko, it's part of we Kenyans who are living outside, the same like our remittance. Tukituma pesa, there's a way the country, you know, the country that you're living in is a win-win situation, and the country also at home. So sisi kama, if it's anything, hata sisi pia we also spend because in the courtesy of our people, our family members, our relatives, our friends, some of our friends, our people we went to in school with in Kenya. And then sasa kumalizia, nilikuwa nataka kusema I'm only happy that you are talking about we should also be engaged, whereby kuna wale ambao hiyo ya bunge la wananchi, na sisi wenye tunakuwa kwa mtandao the whole night kama kina PK since last night. You know, ukiangalia me, I went to sleep like 4 hours. Nimeamka and you're still there. So I'll say all of you wale bunge wananchi na nyinyi wenye mko kwa panel pia, you are also doing incredible job. So hivyo polepole mkisonga polepole hivyo, and also the nini, but I'm also interested na radio, whereby tutapata radio. Tukishapata radio tunaweka into different counties, whereby pia nina run 24 hours ndo wajue kweli these people are really serious about it. Na sasa hiyo message itakuwa through, and after that ndio sasa tutaanza kuangalia vile nini ikianza. Sahii session ikianza in UN, tujue vile I can get you guys, mtakuwa mnakuja, and then we come and debate. Tuna debate huko, wakikuja na nyinyi pia mnakuja. That's how it's supposed to be. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, N.Island, for that idea. It is true. If we can have those radio stations, I know these days they are very easy to set up. If you have an idea of how we can get some of that support, then then I think we can inbox each other, and then we see how we can support those people and also establish community radios in the mashinani. That's the only way you can light this fire, because people need to be enlightened, people need to be informed. I realize people take advantage of lack of information. Manake kuna watu ambao kwa sasa they are suffering. Ukiwauliza wanasema si tuliambiwa tuchague Ruto. You know, mashinani, you know, for those who are in town, cities and all that. Ukisafiri kwenda village ndio utashangaa. People cry, ukiwauliza kwa nini mlipigia, wanasema si ndio vile mlisema. Ati tulisema. Nani walisema? Ati you people from town. Because there was no information. In fact, there was no information to counter the propaganda that was being sold to people. This I can attest. I was there throughout the campaign. I could see how people are being lied to. In my own constituency, people are blindfolded. Walifanywa kufikiria, yani they were bombarded with propaganda, but there was no counter. So they only took what they were being told as gospel truth. Now is when they are crying. They are saying how they did not believe that they could be lied to by the likes of Ruto. You know, people in the rural area, wakisikia deputy president, walikuwa wanachukua ni kama Mungu wa pili. Yeah? And that is where we did not have proper counter of the rubbish or uongo. We did not hit fire with fire. We went kupoza moto. Unaenda kupoza moto na moshi. Moto inapozwa na maji. Ama kama utaki maji, moto ikiwashwa washa yako. Mioto mbili inakuwa moto moja. So that is what we need, and we need to mobilize people. People need to know the reason why things are happening the way they are happening. What's the truth? I'm so disappointed with the media in Kenya today. They have all gone dead. Media in Kenya have come to confirm that Ruto won elections. Point number one. When initially everyone knows Ruto stole elections. So media imegeuka ikakuwa wanasema Ruto won. I was listening to Ngojiri of Nyeri. Is admitting, and he said that they had joined Azimio to be in government. Now that Azimio is not in government, they'll go to where government is. Alex and my brothers who are on this panel, what do you think of such a human being who says I was in this party because I knew it was going to form government, but now that they have not formed government, I have to go to this other side? Such people should never talk in front of human beings. As Stone PK out, how you sasa huyo ni kiongozi aina gani Alex na Winton? Ati ulikuwa kwa hii party juu unajua itakuwa serikali. So it was not your brain. Winston, it's your chance.
Just a minute before Winston speaks.
Pa.
Okay, my name is Winston. I go by the name Sir Winston Ojuang. I'm from Houston. Let me know something, okay? There's nothing as good as good topics that you guys are talking about. I've been listening to you guys for a long time, okay? Okay. Baba will always be the champion of leadership in Kenya. You understand that, right? Baba is everything. No, not everything, but no, there's this thing. I don't know if I'm a Luo, so I'm a Jew, so I was there. Baba said this in 2007. There is song by Onifa J. But yeah. And then Onipa J said in the same song, say, "Ngau mane wona no pedo na se tieko getiende." It means if my brother and my dad Ali Panda, what it meant in context was Ford Kenya is gonna be back. Ford, yeah, NDP, akina chini ya maji akaingoa. So Baba has always been the pioneer of Kenyan politics. I don't get yeah. The thing is 2023 ni upendo peke yake. Kama baba alicheza na Uhuru, let's take it for whatever it is. Because we know what Baba means for Kenya. We know that as a fact. Baba is for Kenya. Ruto ni shetani yake na watu UK. I don't want. Yes. The thing is, let's just pray for Baba's legacy. If anything happens, yeah, that's why when I asked for Alex to give me a chance to talk to you guys, I said, man, because Baba will Simbarati na Joho is the next leadership. And I mean that out of my heart. Yes, I'm young at heart. Yes, I'm 40-something years old. Okay, miss him toy. I'm not looking younger, but yeah. Those are nearly years. Yeah. So on this benefactor, I'm gonna give it to Alex to. Okay. So how do I start from this? And who's the moderator?
I'm the moderator, Stone PK. Thank you, Sana Winston.
Yeah.
Thank you for your contribution, and we really appreciate. Yes, Baba is the icon and all that. Thank you so much, Winston. From there, I want to go to Leah. Now you are ready?
All right, thank you. Actually, I was just following up on the stories, and it surprises me that when I even check on the comment chat, there is this person called Geoffrey Ruto. I don't know from which bush he's coming from, that claiming that Bunge la Mwananchi is a group of idlers is really sad, and he really needs to apologize. If you look at the history of revolution and those people who really revolutionized and changed how our governments work, most of them have come from Bunge la Wananchi. If you go to our parliament today or in these offices, elective offices, majority of them got their political roots from the Bunge la Wananchi. If you start with the Simbarati, the current Kisii governor, he used to be a staunch member of Bunge la Wananchi. Most of these MPs, that is where people practice leadership, they practice debate, and those MPs who pass through the Bunge la Wananchi, I think that the best lawmakers if you go to the parliament. So those guys are not idlers. And if at all you call them idlers, then you need to blame Ruto, who promised to give these guys 500,000 jobs each year. So the fact that Ruto failed to create these jobs is the reason why these people are still idling there. We are in the quarter of the year. So if you promise 5,000 jobs in quarter of the year, right now we should be having like 50,000 people already absorbed in the government departments. But what did you see? We saw even the little that they used to get from the government through Kazi kwa Vijana was scrapped off. So I think these groups like Bunge la Wananchi, this awareness that we're creating here are the only solution that we have as a country that is going to ensure we push for the right direction in our government. As Alex have just said, most of these people, Kenyans are suffering because of ignorance. We are not given information. Our mainstream media is currently captured. Our mainstream media is captured, and they only advance the agenda of the government of the day. There are some things that if you want to know, like nowadays people don't watch news. Those people who know will not wait for this 1 o'clock or the 9 o'clock news. They'll simply go to Facebook or YouTube channels to get the real information. Because after all, the news we watch in this TV are just confirmation of what you already know, what has already been given to us. So people don't get the right information. And if you have an opportunity, like those people, there are some who've been following Facebook, and they even don't follow the right people who can give them the right information. They follow propaganda sites like the pages owned by Dennis Itumbi, who will be propagating. Like yesterday, I saw this guy lying that there is no charges on M-Pesa to bank transactions, only for Kenyans to show him screenshots of how they've been charged. So we need to go out there. That radio station is a good idea. At least we need to reach those people who are in Mashinani. They're the ones who are suffering. And the majority of the ones who voted for this guy, you call your president, the Venezuelan president Ruto, are the ones who are in remote areas. And specifically the remote areas of Central, where people are always busy in their farms. So they did not get information. They don't know much of this guy. They don't know how harmful this guy is. So it is upon us to keep on preaching to them and tell them, this is what these people mean. When they tell you kazi kwa vijana, this is what they mean. When they tell you they are going to revive economy, this is what they mean. They're not going to revive economy. They're going to revert economy back to the olden days where we came from. So it is high time we need to reach each and everyone. I like this kind of forums. They really create awareness, and in any community, I work with some communities that are reviving themselves, the ones that are recuperating from wars and such things. What happens? The first thing you normally do, even these organizations, before you transform community, you have to create awareness. You have to do an awareness campaign. So what we're doing here is right. We are really creating an awareness whereby somebody somewhere will be able to know that there is something wrong and there is something that needs to be done. So that is what we need to do. Otherwise, thank you. I'm still around. I think today we have to take this show the whole day. I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. So those ones who will like to stay, we'll keep on. The conversation will have to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Leah. Yeah, that's good. I hope we can be able. You'll try to check with our colleagues what's the maximum hours we need to do for one show, and then yeah, moving forward.
Yeah, the last.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Leah. You froze. Okay, we've lost Leah temporarily, and yeah, as we progress, I would like to kind of add a voice to what Leah has just said. That the naysayers, the cowards of the time, the ignorant, people are the ones who would demean what the power of their majority is all about. And these are the ignorant who don't even read, they don't research, they don't know, they don't want to know how revolutions are done, what happens. That level of ignorance is unbelievable. If somebody can can just vilify Bunge la Wananchi, that's a very ignorant Kenyan. Maybe there are people who left Kenya many years ago. They are so disoriented. And what they see or watch on YouTube and news is just very selective. Sometimes I meet people when they come back home, back to Kenya, and somebody, the way they talk and things they say, it's weird actually. Some of these people living abroad cannot even address a gathering of 3 people other than their family members on any political issue. They are ignorant kuliko hata sijui watu wengine gani. If somebody can talk nonsense about bunge la wananchi, huyo ni mtu ambaye ni pumbavu, hajui chochote. There are people who pass in town, umevaa kasuti kako, you see people discussing, you can't stop there to listen because you have no clue. Una idea, you are not able even to understand what people are saying. Yeah. Bunge la Wananchi is so powerful. It discusses issues. It creates awareness. So if you don't know about Bunge la Wananchi, please keep off. Kabisa, achana na hiyo. You are just a group of those very ignorant Kenyans who pretend to know, yet you know nothing about siasa and what is ailing people. Yeah, unapita na maviekti yako Oh, unaona two people gathering there, then you dismiss them saying they are idle. They are idle people. That is very, 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 very insulting to those Kenyans. Some of them, there are people who are very learned. Yeah, and they are there, they exchange very, very gigantic ideas. It is wrong to try and think that those are idlers there. In fact, in Kenya, there are no idlers. Ata Chokora is not an idler. Sorry to say that. They have their life. They are earning their life. They are busy hacking their life. It is very insulting to think that somebody is idle. Idle na umulishi. Jeremani, unaita mtu idle na hata umulishi. You don't know what that person eats. You don't know where that person sleeps. Kenyans, get out of that, man. Get out of here and stop that nonsense. Okay, let's get to somebody else who wanted to say something. Jeremani, you have something? As we wait for Leah to get connected.
Yes, I had something I'd wanted to share. And I saw this report released yesterday. This is a report of, this is called the Social Progress Index report. Let me give you some highlights from it that I thought should concern Kenyans. Give me a brief moment to retrieve it.
Jeremani, you are frozen. Or?
Sorry, I was retrieving the report. I wanted to highlight something from it. So the Social Progress Index report says the following: that Kenya is ranked number 115 in the world. Our basic human index needs is at 58.81. The foundation of well-being is at 61.49. In terms of opportunities, we stand at 53.59. The other thing I noticed from this report that I thought is on the weak side is that our inclusiveness is at 36%. And those are the areas that we rank lowest. The access to advanced education is at 42.39%. Personal safety is at 47%. Health and wellness standards 50%. Shelter is at 58%. The reason I say this concerns me is because we seem to have other priorities. When I say we, I mean government, other than the things that will actually improve the conditions of everyday Kenyans. And when I look at the first 100 days of the current government, I'm concerned that none of what I've mentioned features in the discussion, or at least in the public pronouncements I hear from people representing government. And I thought that should be a point of concern. I don't know if Alex and Strong PK will say this is beyond the thought realm of the current government and that we should have a different approach to addressing those matters. It was a general comment I had. I thought to just share.
You see, I like what you have said because data is very important. Even in the IT, I think data right now, people are doing data. I think is amongst one of the highest paid because data is what helps the government to understand where it's coming and where it's going to. However, when you give it an empirical, as one of our friends has said, when you give an empirical data, you have to compare it with something. Kenya is a country of contradictions. Kenya is a country of disparities. Kenya is a country whereby the richest of the richest live and the poorest of the poorest live. That's why we have upper current and lower current. That's why you find expatriates, when they, like most of the expatriates, like three consecutive ambassadors of US, when they finished their terms, they decided not to come back. I think one of them hata alitengeneza makaratasi Kenya, akawa Mkikuyu na akatengeneza makaratasi. So when you give that data, you must understand that that data is you give the data for you and me. But there's another data for others who have big bellies and big pockets. whereby if you had to rank them, they have the best houses in the world, they live in the best climate in the world, they eat the best organic food in the world, and we can go on and on and on. There are roads, the kind of flowers that you see outside. I mean, go to Mutula Kilonzo Senior's house and just look outside and compare to Barack Obama's house in Washington, D.C. Let's be honest. Can you compare those two houses? No, I want you to Google right now Barack Obama's house in Washington, D.C. and from the late Mutula Kilonzo, and you compare the houses. Can you even compare them? So Kenya is a country of contradictions. Kenya is a country of disparities. This guy, Kamlesh Patni, once said, you know, when he changed from Kamlesh Patni to Paul, he became a Christian. He said a statement that I will never forget, and that was in Standard. That was many years ago. He said, Kenya is the Switzerland of Africa. In fact, somebody has said something here that is even important that you should read. Mutula Kilonzo even had lions in his own boma, and he was feeding them with goats. Eh? So you can imagine the way we are a country of contradictions. Eh? So, Jeremani, so when you give empirical data, understand that, you see, and that's why we want this thing to come to an end. If there was equal distribution of wealth, Kenya will be at a level whereby I can tell you we will all be in the upper middle class. The problem is the greediness that has been entrenched to a point whereby we are forgotten. And I think that somehow there's a way Kagame tried to resolve that. And what did Kagame do? He abolished all private hospitals and private schools, so that you don't have the haves and have-nots, so that all of us become equal. If you have to go to the hospital, the rich and the poor must meet there. What happens in that case? The rich will make sure that the hospital don't stink. The rich will make sure that the hospital is better, because that's where they are gonna go. So, and that's why I'm telling you that data that you read is for the poor, for you and me. But there is another 24% in Kenya who live better. If you tell them to go to other countries, they will say capital N-O. They will never want to leave Kenya because their lives are good. So, and that's why we are fighting that. And we must fight that. The wealth distribution in our country must be equal. In my state of Minnesota, the governor, Mr. Welch, who used to be a congressman, when he became the governor, he heavily taxed the rich people. to a point that right now we have a state whereby healthcare is almost free, food subsidies for kids and all this is almost equaling. The school districts are better than they were before. And those are the kind of things you are saying. If you are paying taxes, you got to see the services. We have a system in Kenya whereby people have been paying in my ward, Jogo, in Kisii town. That's where I've built, in my ward, Jogo. People have been paying taxes, and Jogo Primary School has remained the same since 1980. So that empirical data you are giving is for you and me. But there's the richer people who are in our country. When Queen Elizabeth became a queen, she became a queen when she was in Kenya. How? Because she had come for a vacation in Kenya. One of the biggest conservatory in the world is Laikipia does not even belong to us. Laikipia belongs to, you understand? I don't even want to say. So that data is skewed. And such kind of data, sometimes when you see it, it is meant to discourage us, and so that we may think that, oh, we are done. No, Kenya is a progressive country whereby, as Kamlesh Patin said, Kenya is the Switzerland of Africa. And if we did right and distributed the wealth very well and abolished these private hospitals called Nairobi Hospital, so and so, you will see our hospitals become better, you will see our schools become better, and our life will start improving. But I don't agree with that data. That data only belongs to me and you. There is those people who are up there like the Rutos, the Railas, whose children went to Makini, Brookside. Do you know there are people who are paying in Kenya? Do you know there are people who are paying 1.2 million per term? What are you talking about? So that data must be compared to something so that we can bridge the gap, so that we can make people angry, you and me. So when we are giving that data, let us not give it as if it's equal. No, 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 no. Let us give it into comparison, into something, so that we can make people angry and mad, so that they can go after what they are supposed to go. And that's why we must have this conversation. Let us not just give blank data without saying that there are people up there who have mansions that are bigger than Bill Gates in Kenya. In Kenya, Jacob Juma had a house. When Jacob Juma died, they showed his house. 7,000 trees. 7,000. Do you know what that means? Boma yako iko na miti 7,000. What is that? So you must compare it with it, Jeremani, with something. The richest of the richest live in Kenya. Every president in Africa has something in Kenya. That is why the other time when Ruto was trying to cancel Joho's companies from transporting, Kir called Ruto directly and told him, because Kir has invested heavily in Kenya. Most presidents in Africa they have a house in Nairobi. Go to Upper Hill and see.
Bill Gates was there too.
Go to Upper Hill.
Bill Gates was there.
Go to Upper Hill and see how people live. You cannot compare them with you and me. Okay. And then you ask yourself, where did I go wrong in life? Where did they go right in life? So your data is not right. Compare it with something, and you will see the difference.
Yes, Jeremani.
Allow me.
PK,
Allow me to
before
qualify.
Before Jeremani had to say something, I wanted to make some remarks on Alex. Alafu Jeremani, just a little bit on
Okay.
data.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Island umepotea.
The mic is off.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So Queen Elizabeth, to Alex, Queen Elizabeth did not become the queen in Kenya. And it cannot happen according to their royal kingdom. When the father died, she was in
What
a visit.
what I meant was
Yeah,
you
no. Listen. Wait, I finish because you just said your remarks. I just wanted to correct. She never became, listen now. She never became the
correct
queen in, no,
was it
wait. No, you said she was a queen in Kenya. And that's why I want to correct you. She was never a queen in Kenya. When the father died, she was in visit in Kenya. But of course, she's the first one. Of course, she was the one to be. And she was rushed to go back to Kenya. You understand? I'm saying this because I'm in British Association in Kenya, in wherever you said. And you just said that Switzerland is the richest, whatever. It could be true. But you know, they also, it's a small country. Switzerland is a small country. That one I can say yes, but not really behind corruption. You understand? So I have to correct you like too. And data, when you're talking about data, everything is based on data nowadays. You understand? So if Njerumani was comparing the data, maybe you should say in another way, in Kenya, we have so many people who are rich, which is true, is not even the former Nigerian Obasanjo. Obasanjo, I hear also he has some residents in Mombasa, around Kilifi there, I don't know. So, but just to let you know, everything is on data, whether you like it or not. You understand? Maybe the data in Kenya is a corruption data, because data, everything has to be done on data. So when Jirumani is speaking about data, maybe it's us who should. We talked about creating awareness and communication, how many people in Kenya are going to listen to what we are saying and what we are advocating. You understand? But we also need data. We cannot just do stuff like that. We have to do with data. So that's what I wanted to let you know.
I want to respond to you. First of all, you did not understand what I said. And secondly, I want to say this. When we give statements, it is your duty to synthesize them and understand what somebody is saying. I literally said she became a queen when she was in Kenya, not being inaugurated in Kenya. Because when his father died, she was in Kenya in a vacation. If you do not understand that, I don't know your state of mind. Secondly,
that's what I said. That's what I'm saying. She was on visit in Kenya. And I'm saying like this because my grandmother, mother to my mother, met them when they were there at Lake Victoria.
or
So
not,
you say, you understand, listen, you cannot become there by there because she's a firstborn. And of course, automatically, if your father died, according best to royal kingdom, of course you are the one. But you said, you saying, I did not understand. Of course I understand. That's why I'm saying we should not fight. I'm saying she did not become the queen in Kenya. She was in visit and then the father died. So she was rushed. She had to go back to United Kingdom again. So that, and it's not inauguration. You understand? Kingdom is not inauguration. It's only presidential, which is inauguration.
So what's the bone of contention here?
Contention is, you know, when we're speaking, PK, we have to be very careful what we are speaking. You understand? And some of us, when we are speaking, we are there to correct our fellow panelists. You understand? And correction does not mean she's right, I'm not right. When she say even the queen became, you understand? The let be queen. This is a wrong statement. We have to be very careful.
I am not going to argue with somebody who today said that Gachagua is a good person. That one, I'm not going to do that.
It's not saying that Gachagua is a good person. We were debating saying it's not gonna happen. Gachagua cannot be impeached. And even today in the morning, as I'm talking, they've already defended him. You understand? It's not saying he's a good person. Ruto is neither a good person. Moi, neither we are saying he's not a good person. Uhuru Kenyatta was neither a good person. You understand? They are also not good person. They are not good people, all of them. And that's why we're here, we are talking.
Can I provide some
point
input
noted.
to
Progress.
that debate?
Let's make progress.
Can I finish with my point of order, please?
Go ahead, Alex.
I'm not going to argue with somebody who today said